Hello and welcome to Blogsprout. I'm LJ, and today we're going to go through the income report for February 2023, which is month 14th of this niche site. I built this at the beginning of 2022, and we're going to see where I am after 14 months of doing this. Just crazy. So let's dive in. All right, so we're going to start with the major milestones, and that'll first be looking at the goals for month 14. So as you can see, according to the goals for month 13, I did not do great. I tried to keep up with the 30 articles. I had like $400 affiliate revenue, 80,000 page views, $2,000 in ad revenue, which was very close, I might add, but I didn't reach the goal, so I'm not going to check it off. My overall EPMV was over $30 and actually was higher than last month, which is something that's interesting. I did finally get to update a few more articles, but the social media has been slow and painful. So the major activities, I did actually add an author slash person schema for the authors of this site. So one's my VA and one's me. I am using an alias, so it's going to be really hard to find me if you try to look it up. And I also add an HTML sitemap. So I do have an XML sitemap, and that's what you need to submit to search engines. But an XML sitemap, so I've heard, can also help with SEO. So I did that and added it to the footer of my site. Haven't seen any impact, but it's there. So if we look at the articles, I only got 12 articles done this month. And I did update 2. It is really important for me right now to focus on updating the articles just because a lot of my content is outdated. I do have to keep up with the times in this niche to make sure I am, on top of it and getting the most current information. So if we look at the page views, if we look at the Google Analytics, I'm going to move my image for a second. We're going to see that I had 54,000 users and 72,000 page views. So not that 80,000. It is over 70,000 though. The thing that I will want to remind you is that February is a short month. So there is enough of an impact that the numbers aren't exactly comparable and apples to apples. So it's something we have to keep in mind, and I should have done a little bit more analytics of whether or not I was on track, but the EPMV is pretty representative of that. So if we look at the Ezoic big data analytics, you can see that everything was down in terms of visits and page views by over 10%. Again, take into account the 3 days in January that aren't in February, the 29th, 30th, and 31st. And that definitely makes an impact. I still think the visitors were down. I'm getting anywhere from 2 to 2.5 thousand visitors a day. So that doesn't quite match up with the, 13,000 page view difference that we see here. So it's probably slightly down, but it is a lot closer. Nothing to be of alarm. So here's the overall page views from Ezoic, and you can see I was doing really, really well in 2020. Then September, there's a bunch of updates, started to fall, and I've kind of been on a stabilization route for quite some time. And if you followed these income reports, you know that they've been pretty similar from month to month. I just can't seem to break through this plateau. And I do think there's more to do. I don't feel like I'm in a niche that I have maximized my potential. I just haven't quite figured out the content that's going to take me to the next level. So if we look at the traffic source, if you're new to this channel, this is something that catches a lot of people by surprise. A lot of people in this, in the blogging space get 80 to 90% of their traffic, organic traffic from Google. And I get less than 60%. I get around 55 to 58% depending on the month. And then I get a lot from DuckDuckGo, Bing, and some from Yahoo. And I think it's great that I get these multiple traffic sources. It definitely helps to protect me, especially if Google has a major update. It's not great. I still would lose 56% of of my traffic, but having a little buffer from the other search engines is great. I kind of wish that DuckDuckGo wasn't there as much. I have found it a little bit easier to rank, which is probably why I'm getting traffic, but in terms of earnings, they are just very invaluable. Ad visitors. Bing, Yahoo are in the top, and Google's up there as well. So if we look at Search Console, since the site was first brought on Google, we can see it had over 400,000 clicks. Can't wait till I reach that 500,000 clicks. Not there. It'd be awesome to have a site that has that many in a month. I think that'd be crazy. There are people like that. And maybe we'll get there. Maybe we won't. I almost have 17 million impressions, which I think is pretty crazy. That's a much more impressive number to me. And what we can kind of see is that if we look, the purple line is what I'm most kind of concerned about right now. And we can see that that's on a pretty good uptrend, since October. That seems to be in the up, along with those clicks. So that's definitely positive. If we look at month 13 versus 14, again, take into account the extra days, the average position is about the same / a little bit better this month, and the impressions are only 200,000 off. So very comparable. Bing, you can't go back till from when the site was first put on. You can go back, it looks like, until September or something, and this is for the end of February. And I don't like what I see on here. I was obviously in a downtrend coming into that December dip, and you can take a look at that video to find out what happened, but I fortunately was able to recover, and I've kind of been in an uptrend, but it still hasn't been where I'd like it to be. It's still a little bit lower. So we look at month 14, almost 100,000 impressions though, just from Bing. The average position is a little higher. My average position has been a little after 4, but it's actually above 4, which could mean that it's on an uptrend for Bing, which would obviously be great. If we look at the SERP features, this is from SEMrush, just the free account, and you'll see a while back my content for some reason was not showing up on featured snippets. I think part of that is because Google's now using their own content to make their own featured snippet, or my site just got the snippet ban that people have talked about in the past. But we do see that I have one keyword, which is very suspicious, but one keyword, and people also ask, maybe that means that Google wants to test my site again for some of these things. But unfortunately, the image packs were down, site links were down just very slightly. If we look at the keyword positions, it's great that I had 25 new position changes, over 28% improved. But unfortunately, I lost more than previous months, and they declined almost just as much as they were improved. So if we look at the backlinks, according to Ubersuggest, I still have the 14 domain authority. I do have a few extra referring domains and another 140 backlinks. It was just with the same amount of no follow. So that means all those are follow links, at least according to Ubersuggest. If we look at SEMrush, I have an authority score of 15. That has stayed the same for a few months. If you go to my previous early reports, it said I was at 44, and I don't know where that came from. 15 is more like it, and I think on Ahrefs it's below 10. So it's definitely not a high authority site. If we look at the backlinks, this says I gained about 200 backlinks, which actually is in line with Ubersuggest. If we look at the backlink analysis, compared to previous months, I'm starting to see a few more of those mid-tier 30 to 60 backlinks showing up. And I think if I continue to get those, I will be in a better position for my site. So if we look at Google backlinks, I actually went down, 200. So somewhere Google says I lost 200. The others say I gained 200. Hard to say. We could just average it out and say it's about about in the middle. If we look at Bing backlinks, this did also go down, unfortunately. But if we look at the income, I still made $2,291.47. I'm pretty happy with that. I think last month I took home more than that, so this does not include the expenses, which we'll go through later. But, to essentially put in little to no effort this month and still, pocket most of that, I'm pretty happy with where the site is. So if we look at the overview of the Ezoic profile, we can see that I made $1,243.60 through regular Ezoic and $342.97 through the ad partners. Unfortunately, we can kind of see a downtrend in ads across the month, which I haven't, this is something I'm actually just noticing. I didn't notice a decrease that much in the visitors, so maybe the ad rates are starting to go back down. They were kind of in a healthy uptrend, and then it's kind of all over with the economy right now. So if we look at month over month, again, we have to take into account the 3 days missing. But revenue-wise, I was only down 9%, which is pretty dang close to the 3 days that are missing. And the EPMV was actually up. So, we can see at the beginning in January, it started pretty low, but we were in kind of a recovery at the beginning of February and kind of balanced out. We're kind of in that middle stage right now. If you look at Google AdSense, I made $367.53 just through Google AdSense. So you'll see that the numbers are slightly different on Ezoic and Google AdSense, which is where I report them differently. It's only off by a few cents. But it's still, I like to report the official numbers. So if we look at Amazon affiliates, so my content is mostly informational. Actually, you can consider all informational, but the affiliate income comes from a necessity. That's something people need, and they're looking for the specific product. So it's informational, but I say, hey, if you want to buy it, it's right here. This is information you need, but I'll provide you a link. So that's where I get this from. So I made $321.25. Definitely not my highest month, but not my lowest month either. It's been pretty flat if we look at the trend across the graph. So if we look at the other affiliate, I am a part of one other affiliate program. I really want to get this higher because I think it has great potential. But I only made $16.12 off of it. And I believe in my previous video, if not the video before, the affiliate program reached out to me and said, hey, you're not getting commission for, some of your affiliate, tracking. So I don't think I've gotten credited for that yet. I think it should be at least $50. So we will see if they ever get back to me. I'll probably follow up with them this month. So if we look at the EPMV, just focusing on the ads, it's $28.35. So if we take the ad earnings over visits, this is what we get. But I'm kind of more interested in the total EPMV. So this includes the affiliate income. And that brings me to over $30 and $33.24. And I think this is just more valuable because, the traffic you're bringing in, yes, it's important, the ad impressions, but if you also get money from affiliate commissions, I think it's important to take that into account. So if we look at the expenses were relatively low this month. I only spent $241.03. I am a member of Ezoic Premium, and I do pay a $220 monthly fee, but because I have a couple other sites on there, I averaged it out of how much is technically going towards this versus the other sites. So it's like, as you can see, $218.72. But my VA, I was hoping to pay, $100 a month to do work, but she's only been getting, a quarter of what I expected. And honestly, any help is useful at this point. She does what she can, and I pay her for that work. So it definitely is helpful. I wish I could get more done. I have considered bringing in another VA. I just don't know how big I really want this team to grow. And she kind of has learned what to do, and I'd ideally like her to just keep going. But it's really been slowing down. I haven't really checked in with her in a while to see if she's been having issues. So that's on me. But if we look at the monthly profit, I still made over $2,000. Just over it. But I made $2,050.44. Not bad for a month that I did not put a lot of time and effort into. And that was due to a number of things. And you'll see a video coming out later about why. So lessons learned. The big problems I ran into was just publishing speed. I'm kind of getting burnt out a little bit. I'd say I'm at the point that I've run out of the content that's, more easily reproducible. And I just feel kind of burnt out being at that same line for over 6 months and just not being able to break through it. So it's definitely on me. I need to find a better way to balance my efforts, or bring on VAs to take care of that work that I'm just having a hard time doing. And I also, I travel for work. That definitely plays a factor. I have other things I want to do. So it's definitely all on me. So lessons learned is I need to figure out how to balance, my work, my social life, because I spent, a solid year busting my butt to get to where I am. And it's hard to keep up with that for a whole year. At least that's what I'm finding for myself. For some people, they can just keep going. But I do have the full-time job. I do have a dog. I do, live in my own place that I have to clean, take care of the outside. So I'm a real adult. But I'm pushing myself too far. I was trying to get the social media done, and that was just, I wasn't enjoying it, and it was becoming a chore. So I'm trying to kind of take a step back, refresh, and see how much energy and what kind of energy I really want to put into this. Because right now, making $2,000 of basically true passive income is pretty good. I barely looked at my analytics this month. Usually I check how much my site make is on track. And I do enjoy doing that because if you've watched these videos, you've seen I've caught some problems pretty early on based on some of the numbers that are changing. But I've also been slightly concerned with the AI content, uptrend in this space. I think it still has a lot of work to go for, applying to a lot of jobs and really taking over the world. But from a, search perspective, it's very easy in what I'm doing right now for an AI to provide information. Of course, you won't know necessarily if it's correct. But I think with time, it'll definitely figure it out. So I've kind of been figuring out ways to, avoid being beaten out by AI. And that's what the social was for. But my passion's not really in it. So I am at the point right now, if you follow this channel, there might be a new update, but I'm at the point right now that I am just going to focus on updating the content, trying to stay up to date, be slightly more newsworthy so that I can keep up with the amount of content, but it's not burning me out. And then I'm going to focus on something that's a little bit more enjoyable for social media. And you'll see that soon. So goals for month 15, they're pretty much the same as last time. But the one thing I'm stressing is I at least want to update 5 articles. There should at least be 5 articles that need to be updated. They're a year or 2 old. So I need to get to those in month 15. Other than that, I'm not confident I'm going to hit $400. I'm not confident I'll get 80,000 page views, but it would be great to see. So I'm going to leave it on there. And the big watch outs are just, the content velocity, content push, and just, really bearing down and trying to get some on. I really think I might need to lower the 30 articles, slow down that speed just because it's hard to keep up, pretty much by myself, and that the VA's honestly not doing a lot. I'll probably have to change that after the next one because I don't think I've reached that goal in a while. And I want to do something that's slightly more realistic and, pick more articles that may have a bigger impact. I've been, kind of just publishing a lot of articles to cover the topic where not that many are getting traffic. But now that I think I've gained some authority and I have, some traffic, some income, I can maybe start going after some more competitive terms. And those are going to take probably more effort and not be able to crank out as quickly as I have been. So that's all I have for this income report. Thanks for listening. If you haven't seen the rest of the income reports, definitely check out the playlist. If you found this useful, please like and subscribe. It definitely keeps me going. At the time of this video, I've reached the 2,000 subscribers mark, so I'm so thankful for all you guys that have tuned in and listened to these income reports and the other YouTube videos I produce. So I'll see you in the next video. This is Blog Sprout, and I'm LJ. Bye.